Today is a very big day for Adam Cain. It was not an easy decision to leave football so early in his career, but I think we can all agree he's made the right choice in moving over to the PGA Tour and now finds himself in first place in the FedEx Cup standings as the playoffs are about to get underway today. Welcome everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. I'm excited for today's golf action. Adam Cain comes into the postseason with some momentum after a big win in the last stream I did about a week ago. We have the St. Jude Championship, BMW, and the Tour Championship. Plan on playing probably at least this event here, the FedEx St. Jude Championship, and then possibly the BMW as well. We'll see. I was thinking about doing the Tour Championship 4 rounds, but we'll get there when we get there. We'll do 2 rounds for each of these first 2 finals events, see where things are. But welcome everybody. Doing these live, as it was a lot of fun to stream this about a week ago, and I really enjoyed playing that way. So why don't we go and get right into the event then. I've already updated the gear for Adam Cain, so we wouldn't have to waste time with that here during the stream. But Adam has some fresh clothes here for the event. Brand new shirt, brand new pants. I think new shoes as well. I got him a watch. You know, let's go over his stats before we begin the playoffs today. Adam had a really successful regular season. Can you call it regular season here? $13.7 million earned this year on the tour. That's in first place with 5 victories, 3 more than anybody else, 17 top 10s, 20 top 20s. A very, very solid year. 14 eagles, 173 birdies, 64 bogeys, 8 doubles, 1 triple. We don't want to talk about that one. What a year it's been. And now, hopefully, to cap it off with some success in the finals. Let's go. Vancouver Island guy has returned. How you doing, Spencer? I remember you in the chat last weekend when I was streaming 4 days straight. Oh, are the numbers out on Carr's deal? 4 years, 150? Yeah, I mean, he was bound to get that somewhere. I was really curious about the Jets, and I don't know. I think the other domino that has to fall, of course, is Aaron Rodgers, but the Saints are the one who does it. What do we think about that? To me, the Saints have, I don't know, a few issues on the team that Carr doesn't quite solve, although it is a weak division. They got more veteran talent than the rest of, well, a lot of that division. We'll see what the Bucs look like, but until they figure out their quarterback spot, I don't think anyone's going to take them seriously. If you win this event, would you be willing to skip the next one just to get to the final? I don't think I'll skip it. I'll just do another stream. I already planned on making this probably 2 streams most likely. Let me get some practice cuts in here, and let me make sure the camera's also in the right spot, because it's very much in the wrong spot right now. Right there. What do we think about the new outfit for Adam Cain? I bought different pants that are like blue. I thought about breaking those out for a different event. We had to go with a new outfit, though, for the playoffs. How is that very slow? All right, everybody, I think we're ready. Look at the little FedEx trucks. Do they really have those? We are underway in the postseason, going right through a tree on the opening drive. All right. Just a little bit of a hiccup here to start things. Can we get on the green in 2? Now it's going to look a little bit trickier to do that. So I think 3-wood, hope for a good bounce to get on there. You know, second shot of the day, already recovering from a bad drive. It's an interesting spot for Adam to be. That was a little bit fast. Ooh, high skip. All right, trying to par this thing out and do better on the next one. We can get in a bit closer. All right, just a little bit past it, and then the 5-foot par save. All right. A little bit of a hiccup on the opening drive, but we'll take it. I'm so screwed in the second round. Is that going to be... Well, I don't know if we know what kind of wind that's going to be. This one is no wind, so... Yeah, second round could be the tough one in this event. So it's interesting because a lot of these events we've started off with the easier one and finished with the harder one. But now it's like maybe you set the pace now. In the second round, you're kind of playing a little defense to try and maintain position if you started strong. I'm noticing here that like a lot of the 100% drives are just not going to cut it here. Like things... probably go a bit smoother if we dial it back just a little. Went from east to north in 5 seconds. Well, if it's still at a standstill, I'm not even worried about it. All right. It's going to fall left to right. Maybe a bit strong there on the approach. Yeah, I don't quite like that. Thought we'd stick the landing a bit better. All right, 35 feet, but we don't have a ton of movement here. I'd say it's somewhat doable. Long range birdie try for Adam Cain. Come left a little bit more. Wow, are you kidding me? A lot closer than I expected. Oh, is the ranked on here pretty fun? Is the ranked relatively new? I knew they came out with crossplay on here, and that was a thing a lot of people were looking for. I didn't really know much about like the ranked. Ooh, on the cart path. Look out. Hey, we're getting distance out of it, though. Yeah, the timing on the swing feels like I have to be robotically consistent. Doing good, Kyle. How about you? Now let's break out the 3-wood on this and just give me some good distance. Yeah, fast again. It seems like we're getting some different camera angles on some of these shots that I'm not used to seeing. I don't know if they're course specific or if they changed something in an update, but the presentation feels nice on those. All right, I want to get on the green with this, and hopefully this goes better than our last try. Yeah, this game doesn't have a huge file size. I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess I know like games like 2K often take up a ton of space. 2K basketball, that is. All right. This is a 10-foot try, and that's Not gonna cut it for Adam here, as on the first par 5, unfortunately, we're settling for just a par. Kind of an ugly start. Still a lot of golf to go, right? About 9 yards shy on this. At least, although I've been fast, I haven't been fast to the point where it's derailing my shots. Wow. Come on. Almost. We almost hole-in-one this one. I think we can birdie this one. Oh, Tony Finau was in the bunker. Can't relate. Nice shot, though. I guess we're both going to make it in 2. Oh, 1 foot. Let's have good etiquette here. Let's take the flag out. That's how we get the first birdie. Let's keep it rolling. I'm surprised I had it that close. Like, that's the closest I've had to a true hole-in-one. If you checked my stats on here, I have holes-in-one because I played a mini golf course. And that's kind of like a big thing in mini golf, is a lot of them are hole-in-one-able. That's the closest I've been to a true hole-in-one, and it wasn't even with a great shot. Like, my accuracy was off, my speed was off, but they countered one another. 5 hybrid. Yeah, I'm down with that. Gonna have to land somewhere in here with it then. 12 yards, 36 feet. Try to take a little bit of the run out of it. Adding a little bit of loft. See, let's give this a shot. Yeah, I don't want that to be my true one. That's more like it. I'm going to need to do a few more practices here in this first round. So it pushed us a little bit more left, and now let's see what kind of a run we get. Yeah, I think I had that pretty good. It was just the left to right that needed to be fixed a bit. I'm happy with that shot. Yeah, I haven't gone mini golfing in a long time either. I used to go at the Mall of America. I want to do the real thing, though, hopefully. I've never gone, like, true golfing. All right, for back-to-back birdies. Right down the middle, and Adam is 2 under. When MLB 23 comes out, I'm planning to do a franchise on this channel and give that a try. And I'm really looking forward to that. I love playing the show every year. Road to the Show was great a year ago, but I want to do franchise over here now. I don't quite know what it's going to look like yet because I'm going to have to figure out a formula and what works for me and what works for creating episodes, but I know I love playing the games, so I'll sort it out. Sand wedge, we're on the fairway. There we go. Drop it in on the green. All right. A Moneyball series where you try to keep a team under a small salary cap. I think that'd be fun in the football world. I really do. I think there's so many ways you can be creative. Like, of course, I think any, like, sport, it would be interesting to try and... Ah, man. I didn't think that was overkill at all. I was wrong. But, you know, baseball is where Moneyball comes from, of course, because there are teams that just refuse to spend a lot of money. But I think the football world is interesting because you got, you know, you need 22 starters and another handful of role players, and there's just so many ways you can construct a team. You know, it feels like a lot of sports are gravitating around some of the same strategies, but football still has room for, you know, various defensive identities. And, you know, in football, it's still very quarterback and passing driven. But even within that, there are many ways to create a passing game. So it just allows you to flex way more strategic muscles, I guess is how I'd put it. And having to spend maybe $50 to $80 million less than any other team. That's the kind of challenge I think I'd be looking for. Yeah, what ended up happening with Chris Davis? Because I know, like, a couple years ago, man, it was just sad the guy couldn't even get a hit. So does he have, like, the Bobby Bonilla deal now? Is he just getting deferred payments until he's 86 years old? All right, I am way off on a lot of these reads here. I'm kind of overdoing it. I need to stop. The course is playing differently. They're paying him through 20? 37? So Chris Davis retired, and they'll just pay him the rest that way. So what does the transaction for that look like? Is he like... Obviously, he was due whatever, you know, $26 million a year for maybe 3 more years or whatever it was. Is it just basically a special type of restructuring? Just an economic tool they have? Yeah, that wasn't great. Slow. Oh, the kick, though, was nice. $9.16 million annually from 23 to 25, and then 3.5 from 26 to 32. I wasn't watching a lot of baseball before his contract came, but I know beforehand, like, he was doing really good, and the chip almost went home. All right. Could have been better here on the front 9, but the fact that we don't have a bogey yet does feel pretty good. I guess it's a way to clean up your payroll, though. But I guess for that to be an option, the player has to agree to be retired and everything. The next generation's going to be talking about Chris Davis Day instead of Bobby Bonilla Day. There you go. That's perfect. Right down the center. Ooh. That's not going to roll much. Look at Adam smirking. He knows he nailed that shot. I haven't watched any spring training. I don't know if more of the games are becoming available. I checked early, and like a lot of the Twins games weren't being broadcasted anywhere. Yes, thankfully. I never get that close one. I either nail it or I'm just off. So that feels good to get. I'll need to see if any more of those games are going to be easier to watch. They're not all available through MLB TV, right? I don't think I have MLB TV right now, but I know I will for the regular season to watch the Twins. I'd like to watch some, like... I get the notifications on my phone, so it's like, you know, yesterday I was getting them for Jose Miranda hitting a home run, and I'm like, I feel like I'm missing out right now. The rest of the Braves games are on MLB TV. Check the Twins for me, Chris. I want to know if I can actually watch some of these spring games. That just doesn't sound right. And then it doesn't fly straight anyway. Now, on a lot of these, I've been overdoing it. I suppose we have, like, it's all green. We don't have any, like, fast areas. That's further to the left, way away from the cups. So I'm going to try and not overdo it, I guess. Ooh, another one that just barely. We get the wrap around there. We're 4 under through 10. Yeah, every team like having their own broadcast setup does make it a little more difficult, because I did see the Twins play the Red Sox the other day and it was on the Boston network, but I suppose if I had MLB TV I could have watched that broadcast probably. I really want to see Brooks Lee. It sounds like he's having a really good spring for the Twins and he's accelerating his way through the system. There you go. It's a good feeling when your shot flies straight like that. Ah. That's unfortunate. All right, we're through 11 here. What are we placed right now? Approach game on point today? I think it's getting better. I've had some good ones. We haven't had a major mistake yet, which is probably a dangerous thing to say. We're in 6th. We got some names we're not used to seeing on top of the leaderboard as well. That's pretty good. Do I think Kendricks is the start of a mass exodus? I do think the Vikings defense is going to experience that this year. You know, the defense wasn't any good. Well, it had good games, but the defense wasn't very good for Minnesota last year. So I think that there's definitely going to be a lot of guys moving. And it might not all be at once, because I'm sure they'd still like to have certain guys back, but cap numbers are so big. And I think Kendricks being cut this early is probably a good sign they're not trying to bring him back. Yes. I was there in 2014, though, banging the table for them to take him, and he had a really good career. Had some elite years at the end of his prime, and like 2018 through 2020, there were some outstanding seasons. But yeah, I think you look at guys like Harrison Smith, and you're not quite sure what's going to happen there, because the Vikings are still over the cap right now. So, like, there's the Adam Thielen domino that has to fall, and he's due like $20 million. I think the possibility of Dalvin Cook being traded or released is going to be there. And what would be interesting, too, is if... Well, I don't think this impacts it very much, but if Tony Pollard is tagged, then that's one less running back available, and maybe Dalvin's a bit more enticing to a team via trade, but I still can't really see like a veteran second contract running back that isn't like elite in the passing game or anything. I think a lot of teams would like Dalvin, but very few would trade for him. I feel like they'd be calling the Saints about Kamara before that. Jacobs just got tagged? Okay. I suppose they don't have a quarterback to pay there. Well, we'll see what they do at quarterback, but if you don't have an expensive one, you can pay a running back $25 million if you wanted to. Twins have a few games on MLB TV. All right. Stidham time. I wonder what Devontae Adams thinks of that. Derek Carr was a big reason why he went to Vegas, and now it's like things have changed there dramatically. Hey, late season Stidham, though, I'll say he did look good. You know what? I think I broke out the wrong club for this. Yeah. Jimmy G, I could see that. I think it depends on the internal pressure to try and like fix this thing quickly, but also just comes down to the price. I mean, at this point, could you get Jimmy for 25, 28 million? Because that'd be pretty enticing. Because that allows you to keep Josh Jacobs for the price of like a Derek Carr. You can have Jimmy plus Jacobs. So Carr got 150 over 4. 37.5 a year. Vikings try for Bateman. I can't see like the Ravens trying to. Well, I don't see the Ravens trying to move like their only good receiver, wide receiver outside of Mark Andrews, of course. They had the worst receiving core in the league at the end of the season. Maybe an edge over Chicago just because they had Andrews, but there you go. We've had some solid approaches today. Adam's going to drop this in. And we're right on the doorstep. I don't think Minnesota has the money to get extremely flashy like a Joey Bosa if they'd have to clear so much money, I think, like to do anything big. And the one big thing I'd like them to entertain would be like a Jalen Ramsey trade. But I think like to make that happen, you've got to like, you can't have Thielen's money on the books. You can't have obviously Kendricks and he's gone. I think Jordan Hicks, Harrison Smith, Dalvin Cook, and then you probably need to like extend Cousins just to create relief now. And they've kicked the can down the road so many times, and like Minnesota very well could be a playoff team next year without like serious change, but getting further than that into actually being a contender, I think that they're further away than their record this year would indicate. And the problem is that to have a quarterback like Kirk Cousins that isn't elite, you know, Patrick Mahomes was able to go to a Super Bowl this year and win, and all they did is replace Tyreek Hill with MVS and Juju, and that's seriously not a high level of investment. Cousins needs more than Mahomes does, but the problem is that Cousins makes, 85 to 90% of what Mahomes does? Or he has got one of the highest cap numbers in the league anyway. So the only way you can get relief is either he takes less or you extend him. And the extending route is a very, risky one, and they've already done it. To continue doing it puts you in such an ugly spot for the future. Are you thinking about doing a second baseball series again besides Rockies with 23 coming out? What about an MLB worst team rebuild? Possibly. I mean, I'm definitely getting into the really heavy rebuild stuff right now with Madden. And when MLB comes out, it could be... I mean, that would be the right time. I wasn't really thinking about it, but I probably should entertain the idea. Now, I want to focus on our round here as we start to wrap it up, because that last birdie just put Adam Cain into first place. He is now 9 under, and we're on 17. There is a cut after this round. I'm not sure how many are going to get cut, because it's only like a 70-player field, I'm pretty sure. Well, that is not a good approach. So Adam's going to have to do what he does, and that is chip his way, hopefully close. That was the ugliest swing I've ever had. What was that? Oh, no. Maybe focusing isn't good for me. Maybe I'm worse. This is a par safe try. We're trying to stay in first place right now. This looks faster than a lot of the other greens we've had in this round. Extremely, yeah. This green is so different from the rest, and that makes it even more difficult. I'm used to something different now. That is the first bogey of the round, taking us to a really decisive hole 18. I don't want to watch that. Tied with Seth Reeves, but his day is done. You got Harold Varner, who's 7 under. So I think if you birdie this, you probably win. Par is likely a playoff. All right, slow. Please put me in a good spot. We'll take it. All right, this is a really important approach here, and I'm going to want to practice this one, I think, a couple times. This is a very important shot. If I do just that, I think I'll be okay. Everybody, quiet. Don't even chat right now. Oh, no. Oh, no, we're off course. My practices were so much better than that. And now it's Adam Cain from the bunker. The flop is the one I tend to trust more here. This is for the birdie and likely the win. From the bunker, 25 yards out. Onto the green. On its way. Just missing. Wow. To come that close. A par on 18. We could be headed... Do they do a playoff here after this round? Or because it's a multi-round event, it probably doesn't matter. Yeah, it's probably a playoff. Yeah. I'm used to playing one-round events. So we're tied for the lead. You know? We can't win it here anyway. We have to play a second round in this event. So we'll start off tied for the lead and go from there. But hey, that's a pretty good round. I mean, I'm getting warm here, and, you know, it didn't start off great. And there were some ugly, ugly shots. But I'm happy with that. And now, hopefully, I'm warmed up for what should be a tougher round on day 2. That's cool. What's that one? The Waste Management Open? Road to the Show, some good changes for MLB 23. I saw people were really disappointed with the Road to the Show info. It seemed like they updated the UI and then added in face scanning, but didn't really add anything interesting to the game. 7 miles an hour of wind. All right, a much better drive than how we started off round 1. That's 16 at Waste Management. That's a nice looking, that's a nice hole. All right. The wind is going to be a factor. A little slow. Hello, bunker. We're going to miss that by a little bit. Yeah, the wind is going to be a little challenging here, especially in the beginning. looks left to me. So he opened round 1 with a par. And that's how we opened round 2. WBC. It depends when the games are. Possibly. My main focus right now is to catch up on Combine stuff and to watch a lot of the Fallout content. I don't typically watch, like, the Combine very closely, but I like, you know, Combine risers and fallers and kind of Combine review. Like, I just want the information. Every year, though, they got some freakier athletes than the year before. I mean, what Nolan Smith did and Anthony Richardson, like 2 of the best athletes the Combine has ever seen at their respective positions. And really for Richardson, period, the fact that he can move that fast at, what, 244 pounds he weighed in at? Jeez. Can't see him being available for long in the draft. There's a nice birdie for Cain on 2. That didn't sound right either. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go through the tree. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the proper approach. I'm going for this. I can't help myself. All right. Can we nail this shot? Just trying to get aggressively close. I'm okay with this. Switch to the flop. I just trust the flop. It seems more predictable. But yeah, I still got to be able to get over here. I just don't want to overdo it here. Want to set up a good birdie putt. Wow. It came out flat. Didn't really get the height under it. I don't often miss on that side of the cup from that angle. Got to par that one. MLB 2K10 was a fire game. I didn't play a lot of the 2K games in that when 2K was trying, you know, the show was really the game to play there. How good was so 2K back in the day, the baseball game? How good was like their career mode? Did they at least do that well? There we go. Ah. I knew I couldn't land it on the green. Maybe if I took an even higher shot there. This is going to be a par chip. Yeah. Been a little bit off on some of these. All right. We don't want back-to-back chips. Did something wrong. So there's a little misstep there with the bogey. Thoughts on the new rules coming to the MLB? I want to see the pitch clock stuff. Like, I've obviously seen clips of, like, this is why it's awful. I've also seen some clips of, like, this is why it's great. Like, I saw a strikeout that took, like, no time, and it was, you know, a pretty speedy pace of play. I don't mind the idea of a pitch clock. I think, like, seeing at-bats end due to a pitch clock ruling, though, is going to feel awful. No. I don't know why it, like, the speed... Like I said earlier, you have to be, like, robotically consistent, it feels like. How am I going to get out of here? Just hit ball hard? Oh, man. We shouldn't be here. Is MLB doing it different than college in the minor leagues? I think the punch shot will get me out of here. I don't like the punch shot, but this is, I think, the time. But it's not showing that it's going to, like, come out flat like I'm expecting it to. I just want to get out of here. Okay, that did what I wanted it to do. And I think it's actually going to end up in an okay spot. Keep on rolling. I'm quite happy with that. I think the pace of play isn't going to solve the problem they're trying to get it to solve. If that's to, like, boost viewership. It'll undoubtedly lead to shorter games. But, like, the whole, like, baseball losing viewership thing, like, is there a good example of something with any sort of parallel succeeding? Like, things don't last forever. Like, I just don't think that baseball's as compatible with as many people as it was. You know, it's a faster-paced society with zero attention span, and people have decided whether or not they like baseball. I don't think you're going to convince people, is the thing, with minor changes. Now, maybe it's the people that watch baseball. Maybe you get them to watch more games. I just don't think you're going to convince people. What? Why did that go so much further? The wind was going the opposite direction. I don't think baseball's, like, dying or in any kind of trouble, but that's always the marketing spin if something isn't growing by 10% per year. Baseball's going to be fine. It's the commissioner who's not going to be if they don't find a way to keep the forever increasing revenue. Charge less for beer tickets and parking. Yeah, if you want to fill stadiums and try to get your ticket sales pumped up, I mean, there's plenty of empty seats around the league. It's never a question of if you can get a ticket, 9 times out of 10. Unless it's like playoffs or opening day or something special. You can go if you want. They gotta do a better job of convincing you to leave the couch. The 70-inch TV that you got for $549, you know, offers pretty good experience. The Angels pitcher that throws 105.5. I guess I'm not familiar. That seems a little over the speed limit to me. Having kind of an ugly round here. Not pleased with it. All right, we're through 7. Had a couple of bogeys. What's the leaderboard look like? And they're still like bettering their score. All right, that's not going to cut it. Pushed way right. And then it just... We're over here. Oh, there it is. You knew it was coming eventually. Adam Cain chips it in. We go back to 8 under. Oakland and Tampa move cities in the next 5 years. The Oakland one feels like it's, you know, could happen any minute, right? I know with Tampa, they floated the idea, I think, of it being like 2 cities or something like that. Florida is a weird state for baseball because you have to play in an ugly dome when it's like summertime because it's going to rain so much. Or maybe that's like, is that maybe an appeal if you're in Florida? Like, hey, we can go somewhere indoors where it's not like 95 and humid. Maybe that's a positive. How come baseball isn't working out in Florida better? From a tourist perspective, like, who cares about Tropicana? You know, it's a ugly indoor stadium. But if I lived there, maybe it'd be like different. The wind is putting me in a bind. But the chip back to back for Adam Cain. We don't need to putt. Keep it. Why did I move to Texas from Minnesota? Look how much snow is on the ground right now in the Twin Cities. I'm wearing shorts right now. I was done with 6-month winters, never-ending snow, blizzards in April. Starts to get to you after a while, mentally, big time. The problem is the team is in Tampa and the stadium is in St. Pete, like almost an hour away. I suppose. So a lot of people having to go possibly an hour away just to pay a ton of money. Yeah, I get why maybe you sit that out. All right. You know, I'm just taking the 5-iron here. They want me to use the hybrid. I'm saying no hybrid. Yeah, I should have moved that further left, but I think I nailed the distance part well enough. Okay. I guess I'm not making that. So we've gone nowhere through 10 holes. Well, we've gone backwards because everybody else has... enough people have increased their score. This looks dangerous. 9 miles at the back. Oh boy. Wish me luck on this one. Well, to be continued. One thing that does intrigue me about EA's game is that I think the single player is going to be like offline, and you don't have to worry about being connected and getting booted like this. Hopefully they have me right where I was, because I thought I had a good shot lined up. Yeah, persistent online. No thank you. Alright, we got the same situation, it looks like. Well, hopefully we end up in an okay spot here. I've taken a lot off of this one. The wind, it's up to you. Green. Okay, just ended up a bit further to the right. Ooh, that's not bad. Knock it down to go 10 under. Beautiful. Yeah, offline franchise is a problem. They need to fix it, because I'm tired of having cloud franchises. And it's unfortunate that, like, you know, there's going to come a time in a few years where I can't even access the file anymore for my series. You know, I've been able to back up like all my old franchises because they were just offline files and nothing special. But like, I wanted to revisit the Browns franchise. Sometime in the last year, I opened it up, that game, to just go see the file again because I wanted to get some information. I think it was when I did the Perry Cummings series. I wanted to get his stats and some stuff, and I couldn't even access it anymore because those servers are offline. Now, that's on me for picking an online franchise because I wanted the starting point. But why does starting point have to be for cloud? If I want to just start a franchise where the real life is, why do I need cloud? Let me just go offline. There are like no benefits to being in a cloud franchise. And everybody knows that the franchise you're in with your friends isn't going to make it 2 years anyway. So optimize offline franchise because it's the one that really matters. Yeah, for sure. Competition and the lack of competition has really hurt this entire part of the gaming space. The fact that we don't have a second MLB game, so franchise has been stagnant. The fact that we don't have an NFL game for the last 20 years, basically. We don't have an NBA game. The only game that's going to have any kind of competition is PGA suddenly. How weird is that? There you go. Ooh. Really pleased with that shot. Maximum Football did look good. I thought that trailer looked like they took more than just a small step forward. I am looking forward to trying it out. I hear Axis has good stuff in their franchise mode. You gotta get caught up, though, in terms of gameplay. At least you gotta offer a decent experience. And the problem, I think, is for some of these competing football games is I think they're behind even where Backbreaker was over a decade ago. From a gameplay standpoint. Yeah, give me the 5 wood. Gotta be careful here. The wind's coming in. I think that's pretty good. You can go further. The Kendricks release was one you could foresee. The Vikings are in a very bad cap situation, and unfortunately, Kendricks isn't the player he once was. So, yeah, that was only a matter of time. Love Kendricks, though. I hope that he can find a way to have a successful season. Maybe there's a scheme that would benefit him. Maybe the Vikings scheme this year just wasn't it. But yeah, he was a great player for a while for the Vikings. Maximum apparently used NFL 2K5 and Backbreaker as points of reference for their new gameplay. Well, it's a couple good sources of inspiration, I'd say. A lot of impressive things still about 2K5 to this day. Some other areas haven't aged well, but the fact that it can do anything better than Madden is like a problem. An 18-year-old game shouldn't even be in the same stratosphere. We don't talk about NFL Quarterback Club because there's no reason to. But we still talk about 2K5 because there is a reason to. Ooh. We're starting to nail a couple of approaches. That actually traveled far. All right. Nope. So we par 15. Coming close to the end of this round. And we're in 4th place. So looking at a pretty good finish here, but barring an albatross or something incredible, I don't expect to win. I will say, though, when it comes to Madden, that I'm really enjoying my Titans franchise right now and the gameplay I'm getting on there. Matt 10 is a magician. Like, the stuff that he got for me a few patches ago, really liking the games that I'm getting. Come on, that's a perfect shot. Ooh, that's going to go far past it. Come on, go in. Oh, he almost just clipped it. A lot of fun stuff coming in the Titans franchise. Another video coming tomorrow. The chip is good. Adam Cain, Eagles 17. Whatever we're on, 16, 17. Cain, what's your favorite fast food place? You know, I've been trying to think about that. Do I really have a favorite right now? I don't know that I have a go-to that's like far and away better than the rest. Lately, I've been really into In-N-Out. I like their burger. Fries are F tier, but... Ooh, we're playing for the lead again. Oh, boy. Finish strong. I gotta go Culver's. I gotta go Culver's still. They got a more complete menu. They do a lot of things really well. And they have cheese curds, which many places don't. And good onion rings. And good fries. Chicken tenders, burgers. 2 types of chicken tenders as well. If you're ever at Culver's, I recommend the buffalo tenders. Those are dynamite. A lot of people like the Culver's ice cream. I'm personally not a huge fan of it. But that's also an option if you're into it. If I want fast food ice cream, just bring me to Dairy Queen to get a Blizzard. And because I live in Texas, a couple tacos. Culver's and Dairy Queen, I don't know. Their ice cream is very different flavor. Like, you'd never confuse the two. We birdie 17 to drop to 14 under. Smash Burger is good. I do like Smash. Oh, boy. Adam suddenly has a chance to win this. I thought that was going to be over and done with, but the Eagle on 16 has changed everything. Don't go in the water. We're hugging this left side. No! What kind of bounce was that? No way. Adam Cain, more like Adam Payne. Oh, no. Not like this. Not like this. Oh, no. I can't believe it. Adam. The chip. Oh, it's slow and just... Where's it going? Oh. They actually got to an okay spot. Adam's still not thrilled. He's going to have to settle for a bogey here. Where does that leave us? Oh, no. Bengal, I hope you didn't see either of those 2 previous shots. I just got 2K'd so hard. He still won! Even with that hole 18, there wasn't a playoff? Show me the leaderboard. Adam Cain has his 6th win. Shouldn't there be a playoff? I'm in the way of the screen right now. Let me... This is the leaderboard. We have a tie for 13. And the game recognizes the tie. It doesn't have Varner in 2nd place. So I guess I'm confused why there isn't a playoff. I guess they picked the person with more points. Oh, that scoring system. Well, I had a whole lot of points. If this is the scoring system they're doing to break ties, it's like, okay, maybe, but you're not even showing me that. Love the shirt. Thank you. I try to wear my nicest shirt here for the playoffs. Working on my golf etiquette. I'll take 1,600 points, though. Varner took a share of it, so we just both get first. We just share the trophy. Like, he's going to get it on weekends. I do not play golf in real life. I've never played golf. Perhaps change that this summer. Big lead on Jon Rahm. I'm not skipping this event. But we got a big lead right now. That makes me feel pretty good going into the very, very end. We're 2,000 points ahead now after that because these finals events are worth so much. I mean, Jon Rahm could easily win this one. He gets like 1,600. It's such a top-heavy point structure. I mean, he could be right back in the thick of it. All right, Wilmington Country Club South. That's where our next round takes us. Let's keep it going here. That is 16 on waste management, I was told earlier. That's just looks cool. In your entire YouTube career, which series were you the most emotionally invested in? I guess my first instinct there is to go with the Minnesota Dynasty. My first, big, long-term series that went over 10 years. A lot of struggle in the beginning of it. And also, like, the Andy McKenzie, Tyrone Campbell follow, and then McKenzie breaking his tailbone. Week 1 of the year we ultimately won the championship. That was, probably one of my favorite championship years on the channel. We also, in that series, had a couple players, like, end their careers injured. Like Terrence Johnson, wide receiver. Also, Andy never got a ring, like, that he played for. I guess that's the one where it's like, what series had, like, the most emotional heartbreak or sad moments? That's not exactly what you asked, but it's close. Broncos one was also, because that was the culmination. I mean, come on. What? How does that even... It was something over the hole, so it rolled over. The Broncos one was the culmination of the entire Kalispell dynasty. Well, a large portion of it. And then carrying that into the Broncos and running with it. Andy McKenzie, what a throwback. What was the name of the running back? Matt Pierre. Y'all know. Ended up doing like a 10-year career mode with him on this channel. And it was rough because we kept going to teams he couldn't win on. It wasn't until... I don't even know what team it was, but a team moved to London, went there late in his career, and I was basically saying, all right, this is our last season. It was like year 10. And sure enough, we go on to win the Super Bowl that year. We had some players on that team. That offense was loaded. What the heck was that? Undershot by like 20 yards. The JUCO transfer running back. That was Derrick Henry reincarnate. Was Alonzo Holland the JUCO? I can't remember. That'd be Minnesota. I think he was a JUCO. First game of his career, I think, was the game Andy got hurt. Because I remember playing that, and it was like, I get to show off this running back's first career game, and he has some, like, incredible highlights. I still remember when I played that game, and I saw Andy broke his tailbone. Like, I was in, like, a bad mood for the rest of the day. I was sad for the man. Can't even sit comfortably for the rest of the season. Yeah, we're just going to muscle this one out there. We got wind at our back. Ooh. That tree's going to be a problem. All right. Just get over the bunker. Easy. Yeah, we didn't end up in the right spot here. Get up there. You can do it. I miss Steven Smiley. Yeah, one of the best, like, randomly good for a small period of time players on the channel. He had, like, an Adrian Peterson in 2012 is basically what Steven Smiley did for us one year with the Chargers. Taking over at running back for injured Barry Insecki. Never to be heard from again because it was a fluke, kind of. But it was an elite run. It was like Nick Foles to the Super Bowl. Good. Yes. The O-line career mode, yeah, I took Bryce Wiley, and I was playing Madden 09 one day, and I'm like, they let you do any position for Superstar. So I'm like, left tackle. That video did extremely well. The first episode or two did. And then I realized, like, I ain't playing a whole season at left tackle. And then we got, I think, bounced in the playoffs. I was playing for the Patriots. They were the year they went 16-0. That team. But CPU quarterbacks couldn't stop throwing interceptions in that game, so that was a bad shot. How to even play left tackle in Madden? Like, the controls were so simple. It was basically the ball gets snapped, and you're just trying to hit up on the right stick and see what happens. The only time it got interesting is if you were blocking on a screen or some sort of power run where you're pulling. Bengal, did you put out anything for, like, Combine Fallout content as far as, like, draft risers or guys that impressed you? I planned on binging, like, all that stuff I can find here the next couple of days. The post-Combine mock, I'm sure that's already up or in the process. Yeah, it was ugly. Bogeyed that one. Tyrone Brightful. That man is forever dizzy. Might as well just chip it every time. It's just easier that way. So I'm still debating on if I want to do the final stream, a 4-round event in the finals. I feel like that might be a fun way to cap this series off. Just drop it right in there. That wind really knocked it down. Imagine being a center in Madden. That probably would have been more fun than being a tackle. I guess there's a few more things you'd be worried about, you know, more second-level blocking in the running game. I don't know if that game lets you, like, duo and then get into the second level. Probably not, you know. It probably wasn't too advanced. But I think center probably would have been a wiser choice than left tackle. I think the PS2 Maddens let you be a specialist. I want to say you could be a kicker. What about being like a big blocking tight end? Like every run play, you can just go like destroy a linebacker or like the slot corner, and like you can still catch passes. Could tight end actually be fun for career mode? Does anybody have any experience? I demoed playing receiver a little bit ago, and I just didn't really... And tight end, it would still be a problem. But, like, when the ball is in the air, you can't really see what's happening well. Because it's still focusing the camera on you, so you can try to block, and a lot of times you're like, I have no idea what's going on. If this is, like, a big play or something, like, it just doesn't seem like it makes great content. C4 did a kicker career mode the other day. I'll have to check that out because I was just thinking about that. The best position for career mode has to be the field goal holder. Yeah, backup quarterback, because Madden doesn't put punters there because they want you to have video gamey trick plays, and also that's how the NFL used to do things, and it would just be too much work to undo it at this point. That's one of the things, though, about this yearly dev cycle is something like that is never going to be a priority. So you exist in a world where Madden has had quarterbacks holding extra points for like 15 years longer than anybody in the NFL's done it. Bang. I still want to see a tournament of all your best teams. That would be a lot of fun. Also, like, so many hours of work building the rosters. If I dedicate 15 minutes a day, how long would it take me to set that up? And, like, it's been so long. Like, you could put together a sick 8-team tournament. Depends if you wanted to include my college stuff. Probably not as easy to do that. That's why I wish you could do more customization on All Pro Football 2K8. I'd have to figure out like a roster editor or something because that game plays so good, but its feature set is so limited. It's so heartbreaking. If 2K8 just had like 2K5's features and didn't limit you when it came to created players, oh my god. That would be like the definitive best football game of all time by a lot of people. Wind's picking up. If there's a tournament, I'm taking the long shot odds on the Madden 13 Raiders with Patrick Yiannopoulos. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. That series had some really cool players that got absolutely no development on the channel because it was such a short series. Guys like AJ Ray, James Hazard, DeRay Ray. Beautiful. Remember when I signed Terrell Owens on there? Make a video going to the old MLB The Show games? You know, with baseball season coming around and like just a new season in general, I think a fun way to lead up to that would be to revisit old stuff. And I did a video on the Bigs last year. Is there anything distinct enough about some of the older show games for going back to it? Or would the novelty of the rosters and stuff be enough fun? Like, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to just go get an old one and try it out. I actually don't have any old versions of the show. I think the oldest one I have is 15, and that's not old enough to be exciting. I'd have to go back to the PS3. Would you guys like to see something like that as we approach baseball season? Come on, no. Putting has been a real challenge on this course. I'd like to do a 2K My League again at some time. The biggest issue is probably like the time the game comes out is so close to Madden, and I'm starting to realize, you know, the schedule that I want to be making content with here, and you know, I want to do less series at a time and put out episodes faster and allow myself to kind of finish things quicker. But you still have like the release schedule being so close to Madden. I'd love to play 2K again. I have to find the right situation to start it up. I was really interested in this newest game because of the eras feature. But here I am, still having not played the game. But yeah, I think I want to put out a channel update video on the main channel sometime soon. Because I feel like I'm getting a lot of clarity on how I want to structure the channels going forward. Because I've been making some changes this year and thinking a lot about what would be best and... not just best, but what would be easier than what I've been trying to do. Sometimes running way too many series at a time and having things drag on longer than they should. And what's worked a lot for me lately, Gabriel, are you ever going to finish NFL head coach? I've thought about returning to that file. I guess what I'm more interested in, well... maybe I would return to that one just because there is some interest. But I think I want to get the game on Xbox because the game runs so poorly on PS3. And I also know that if I continue based off the file I had, like, the team has to get, like, blown up. I remember that. Where we were, the way I'd built the team, like, that was the year we had to win. And we didn't. Alright, that didn't go far enough. I need to get the game on Xbox, I think. Oh, come on! It was in there. One-off MLB rebuilds. Yeah, what I've been doing lately is, you know, I've been focusing on just basically putting out one video a day. And typically I've been alternating days. You know, I'm uploading, this is my video for the day today. I've worked on some other stuff, but this is my video that goes up today. Tomorrow it's going to be another Titans franchise video. And then just that setup of focusing on putting out one video a day has been really nice because I feel like I have time to do everything I want to do. I've been even able to do that Lions series, and you know, it's almost done. And it's allowed me to make videos that take more time to create. Jeez, what? Why'd you put it there? Par save. So, what's going to keep happening going forward is I'm going to focus on putting out one video a day and alternating on the channels. But if I happen to start making some content that it's easier to make more of, say like another NFL Street playthrough or a Road to Glory, something that can get knocked out easier, then I'll start maybe posting on back-to-back days again on the second channel. But the situation I was trying to avoid was days where I would, you know, double upload a video on the main channel, video on the second channel, and then have nothing to go up the next day. And also, just like 2-3 days in a row where I don't get anything up. I wanted to experiment and see how things would go if, you know, maybe I posted less content, but something went up every day. And I've been doing that now for a few weeks, and I've only missed a couple of days, but I've really liked it, and I plan to stick with it, and that's why I want to make the channel update video and kind of talk about, you know, this is the structure that I like, and because of it, you know, this is how I want to handle the main channel. So that's going to be a video that comes out soon. And then for the Vikings franchise, so the way I did the last video, I did not watch the John Jones fight. I haven't watched a UFC fight in years. The way I did the last Vikings franchise video was I was really having a hard time thinking about what to do. So what I decided would be the best option for the story is to retire Brian Petrovsky and then just kind of see what happens next. And I was willing to put multiple seasons into that video, but it told a pretty engaging story based off of only one season. So that's why it was only a one-season video. I have no idea how many the next episode's going to cover because I plan on doing the exact same thing. I guess I saw it coming back down. Beautiful. I saw there being a few different ways to approach the series. Either start fresh with a brand new team, and I just didn't feel like I wanted to commit to a major rebuild inside of the rebuild, especially if the CPU was going to mismanage my Vikings. So the other second option was to just do business as usual and more of the same, which just felt too stale. That's a bad shot. Ooh. The third option that I saw was to do like more of a time skip into the future. And I guess my approach right now is, all right, how long does this Vikings dynasty really go? Let's get there relatively quickly. And that's why I did the last episode the way that I did. Because I think it'd be fun if the Vikings end up in a spot where, again, they need to be built up and I can kind of take over regular control and maybe do a couple more traditional seasons in it. So I plan on sitting down and going through another off season, another regular season, and if that somehow tells a pretty compelling chapter on its own, then I'll just make a video of that. But if it needs multiple seasons, then I'm gonna do that. There's no way I make this putt. It starts off so dangerous here, and then it's like nothing. I don't even know. I'll take it. Stream the end like I did the Giants franchise. Yeah, not everybody likes the streaming way of ending it. I feel like I probably won't stream a long-term sim. It depends how many years I have to go. Like, I don't want to do it for 3 hours. But I do think that series is probably going to get wrapped up way ahead of, like, any of these other franchises that I've done. And I'm okay with that because I want to give franchise on MLB a shot on this channel, and I have no issue if that takes over the channel for some time. The Vikings franchise might be done in the month. I have no idea. Just kind of playing it by ear, putting out the videos that I think are right, and looking at viewer interest, looking at my interest. We'll figure it out. Been a tough round to get birdies converted. We got hole 18 now. But yeah, I feel like for too many years I tried to do too much and had, you know, I always thought that things would play out differently than they did, that series would get done faster, and I'm realizing now, a lot later than I should have, the only way I'm going to get stuff done the way I want, and that's to do a lot less of it at any given time. But, you know, if my plan is to go on the main channel, and after this current Rockies season is done, I want to spend, you know, a month or two only doing Titans over there. And that would allow me, if I'm getting a video out every other day, which I don't find tough for a series like the Titans, when I'm not worried about other series over there, I can get through a full season in like 6 weeks. That's not bad. And the way that series is going, I might need more time to actually get my rebuild through. And there's still a lot of engagement and interest. So I'm going to do what I got to do there. What would happen with UTSA? So it wouldn't be just like I'm never doing 2 series simultaneously. But the plan is going to be to push UTSA out closer to the summer. So let's say that Rockies is done end of the month. I'd probably do nothing but Titans over there throughout, you know, end of March, April, and possibly May. And then, as we get to the summer, college football interest picks up. Then let's do UTSA again. I know there's some new stuff out for Revamp too. I want to take a look at the tools they've put out and whatnot, because there will be more UTSA. There will be. And you know, one thing that's also possible is that maybe the Titans gets wrapped up sometime in the summer and I don't drag it all the way to Madden 24. I don't know. It's hard to say because it depends on stuff that, you know, we just don't know. As far as, you know, viewer interest, team success, if I feel like a series is done. But, like, if we get Titans wrapped up and we feel complete in July or sometime around that, like, I wouldn't be against doing UTSA focused for some time. Another thing I wanted to avoid is series that just drag on too long to end. And I know this series has kind of gotten into that territory. As you know, I'm doing 5 total series at the moment. And that usually means something is going to be getting the short end of the stick. But I want series to maintain their momentum better from start to finish. And I felt like Sidney Jean-Charles was one series that did that, where there was a lot of interest throughout the summer, but then we got to football season. I focused more on football content, and there were less videos coming out, less interest in those videos, yet it was some of the most compelling stuff because we were actually going to the playoffs and we had developed him, and it just felt like I should have been in the spot to get where we were sooner, if that makes sense, rather than it going all the way into Madden and then not having a momentous finish. Got a couple birdies to start this round here. It's going well with no wind or limited wind. Imagine that. But yeah, I hope y'all are appreciating, or I hope you're enjoying the stream. I appreciate y'all being here. I've enjoyed the live focus here for the Adam Cain series, and I hope that those that are watching afterwards are still enjoying, although I know it's been very much off topic and not as much focused on the shots. Kind of getting into the zone here and just playing. Adam chipping. He's going to be too far left. That was a close one. Do something where you do just one series for a week so you can focus on one series for that week. I have given that some thought. The issue is just, you know, it ends up being the same amount of stuff getting done. Unless for whatever reason, focusing on something for a week allowed me to be more efficient and get more done. Yeah, we got the hill that can play to our advantage here. I don't mind a bit strong of a shot. Comes back down, but not exactly where I hoped. Birdie chipping. Wouldn't you know it? Wow, Adam Cain with a hill. He still chips it in. Had to take something off of it. I knew that the power there was going to be too much. Had to give him a change up. Is there a risk of the show removing Stadium Creator? I can't imagine they'd remove Stadium Creator. That'd be kind of a bizarre decision on their part. Building something to remove it is more so EA's game plan. I like the approach, but it looks a little strong. It's kind of confusing because I feel like I'm aiming in a safe spot. I'm going into the wind, but it still ends up going a bit further than I'm expecting. Now, I love the result there, but it just didn't play out how I had predicted. Stadium Creator was painful on last gen. Yeah, once you get to the end of a console generation, I mean, a lot of things are not going to be in great shape. I feel like the Switch is running into that right now with a lot of games. Like a Switch Pro right now would really hit the spot. A little slow. Ooh, that went way further right than I expected. All right. Still pretty happy with this start to the round overall. I love to see all of our sports games that we play get more competition. But I try to see it from the perspective of some of these companies too, like why would they get into the ring? I do feel like baseball's the one where it would be tough to compete in terms of gameplay, because I think the show is just that solid. I love the show's gameplay. As an offline franchise-only player, like, if MLB 21 with my Rockies was the last game I could play, I mean, I'd have so much to do. But I'd still love to see EA try and force the show to innovate more and just do more. I mean, we all have seen the effects of no competition in the sports gaming space and how awful that's been. The show could be a lot better right now, feature-wise. The features have stagnated, and they've kind of rode the back of solid gameplay for years. Sliders will be a little bit more important for the show 23. We'll see about that, because I've never felt the need to use sliders. Why do you say that? Have they made some changes? I've always appreciated how the show plays out of the box. I've never had to edit anything to get, like, a good experience. Decent little approach. I hope we get that 2K football game sometime soon. Isn't, like, this supposed to be the year? It's been delayed multiple times from all the rumors that are out there. I just want whatever 2K is working on to do well, and for the NFL to say, you know what, we want 2 football games. 2 real football games. And then 2K versus Madden all over again would be wonderful. Yeah, these putts have been tough. They've decreased foul balls by a lot. We'll see. Doing a GM-only series on NBA or NHL would be interesting. You know, I'm hoping that with this schedule change that I've done on the channels, I do think it's going to allow me to do more unique things. Like, it's been easy for me to do the Lions lately, because although those videos take more time, you know, I'm not trying to pump out so many videos. And I've been able to get, you know, 5 of those videos out, and now I have 1 more to go, and then once I'm done, I can move on to the next thing. And I took a look at my channel last year, and, like, I wrote down everything I did, you know? All right, I did the NFL Street Series. I did 1 Road to Glory series with Perry Cummings. And then I realized how few mini-series and one-off videos I was doing. I want to do more of that, not less. And it's part of why I'm very much open to, you know, the Vikings franchise could end early. I'm not worried about it, because I think I can always find another thing to do and see what sticks. But those things need to be smaller in scope. Like the when I did Madden '09 and the Austin Venom series, that was a big undertaking. It was meant to be a big franchise, and it was. But the experiments can't look like that very often, otherwise I can't do many. There you go. That's a better putt. And so I'm looking at making a lot more rebuild-oriented content and not just, you know, full-on franchise like I have been doing for years now. But more stuff like the Lions series, where I know right off the bat, we're going to do this for a few weeks and then probably be done. And sure, if something balloons and it becomes something more than I expected, I'm always fine with that. I mean, that completely transformed this channel when the Browns rebuild became more than a mini-series. It became the backbone of this channel that I've now done with the Browns, Bucks, Cardinals, Texans, Giants, and Vikings. Isn't that incredible? It's already been that many series. And all because I decided to experiment when the Browns went 0-16. If the Browns won a game, I don't know if I would have ever even made that. But I thought them being 0-16 and rebuilding them was a really interesting thing. Would the Browns 1-15 rebuild ever happen? What do I do when I'm not on YouTube? I still play a fair amount of games. Probably more than most YouTubers do when they're not recording. I still really enjoy playing games, and I'm not the most outgoing person. You know, I like to be home playing games, watching sports and stuff, so a lot of that. Drop that in. Right in there. All right. We can wrap this up nicely. Oh, man. I can't believe that. I actually was thinking about making a third channel for non-sports content. I thought about it a lot late last year because, I mean, I know you can't see all of them behind me, but I got so many games that I would like to play and could be, you know, fun to play for content. But I think at the end of the day, the sports stuff is what I'm most interested in doing. I still thought about making one for the odd time that I'm like, you know, I'd really like to do a video on this game right now or something. But I'm very happy just focused on sports content in general, because although it might seem repetitive, I think there's so many ways to approach it. And I feel like there's plenty of room for me to do stuff I've never done before. And it's what I'm good at. You know, it wouldn't be the same if I were doing stuff on completely different games. And ultimately, I like making content for the community I have on these channels. I don't really care to carve out a new community. So I don't know. I don't like doing a lot of stuff that I don't have, like, a lot of ambition for, and I wouldn't have any interest in, like, making that a big channel and a big part of what I do. And so it's hard for me to get really interested in if I'm not even thinking about going all in. Yeah, definitely not vlogs. I'm not into that whatsoever. I thought back in the day I might be, but no. I mean, there's still a chance I do the third channel just, like, for the odd time. That's like, you know, let's play this, or a live streamed let's play of this game, but not on my radar at the moment. As we chip it in, Adam Cain again. Yeah, my wife and I both play games. A couple of the games I'm playing off of content right now. I recently got into Like a Dragon, which is my first Yakuza game, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. I'm like 20 hours in, and it's different, but I feel like it's scratching the Persona itch. It's got great characters. The combat's pretty similar, and in some ways I prefer it. Really like that game, and there's just a lot of fun side content to do, and the writing is absurd and hilarious. It's one of the funniest games I've ever played. Recently began playing Pokemon Violet, and I'm taking my time through it, and I'm really liking the start to the game. Yeah, I've read some stuff, and it sounds like Yakuza 0 is like a fantastic option too. Yeah, I know there's games that kind of carry the narrative over, so Like a Dragon was a good place to start because it's new characters. But yeah, if I want to play the old ones, I want to play those in order. Let's go. Come on. Yes! Adam Cain from long range, the deep ball. Connects for the former first-round quarterback. That's one of the shots of the round. I have played a few minutes of Hades back when I had Game Pass. And I knew, like, all right, I'm going to play this in full sometime. But I think my Game Pass was, like, running up, and I just wanted to try it. I don't have Game Pass right now because I don't play it enough consistently. But that's definitely one I want to get. Hey, I appreciate that. Thanks for all the content through the years. Thank you for watching. Glad you're enjoying. For your 1 millionth sub, you should do a vlog. I don't think I'll ever hit 1 million subs, honestly. But a vlog of me climbing the mountains in Kalispell, or I think it's like 40 minutes away, Glacier National Park. Wouldn't that be something? I feel like ever since doing the series, like I need to go. I'm not a huge touristy kind of person. I'm just not really into it. But I think what does interest me is going to places for the nature. Like, you know, national parks and stuff like that. Like, I'm less interested in just like, let's go to this city and eat. Like, I'm sure that'd be great, but that's not really my thing. But I feel like I'd be way more interested in going to, like, the mountains or something. No, just missed it. Heartbreaking with Cain in second on 18. Oh, no. Par. So what do we got here? 11 under. Pretty solid round so far. The Jean-Charles content got me into baseball in real life? Really? You're from the UK. What's your team? You have a team? Okay, we were never going to win this thing, so I don't feel that bad. Patrick Cantlay was way out in front. And we finished tied with John Rahm, so he gains 0 ground on us. Sox? All right. Red Sox? That leaves us with one more round, it looks like. Now, Patrick Cantlay just got 2,000. I wonder what that does to the standings. I think you need to win the last round to win the tour. How does that work? Because, like, there's the final event, but there's also this overall standing, these overall standings. Honestly, no one can catch Adam at this point. Like, we could withdraw, John Rahm could win, and he can't catch us in the standings. But do we still need to win this last event? At any rate, I'm going to try to win it. And I think I want to do one more stream, rounds in the stream today. What about for our next round, our next one, the final episode with Adam Cain? Now, maybe in the future, if I'm still like playing this on the side, I'll do some fun one-off videos every now and then. But this would be the finale. What if we do 4 rounds in the finals and try to take home the title in the Tour Championship? I think that'd be a lot of fun. I planned on doing 4 rounds today, getting through those 2 events. We only got 1 left on the schedule. We picked up a win today as well. 1 more. Mic cutting out? Let me see what's going on. I have no drop frames. Mic cutting out. You're good on my end. I have no drop frames or anything odd, which is nice. I used to stream with a lot of problems. But yeah, we could do 1 more stream. The Tour Championship, 4 rounds, 36 holes. Or no, 72 holes. 30 competitors. And that would be, I think, a really solid end for Adam Cain. But everybody, I think that's going to do it for today. A successful playoff debut for Adam Cain. He wins his first event, even after a rough start, and puts in a top 3 finish in the second event. Not quite as good as the first. That leaves just 1. You gain a stroke advantage in the final PGA Championship based on standings, so 10 under starting out for first? Really? A Saturday 4-round Tour Championship stream would be good. Players Championship is this weekend? Yeah, I think a Saturday would be good. Let's see, what's today? Monday. I can probably fit that in. Pencil that one in, and then I'll schedule it if all goes well. But that's going to do it for today, everybody. Adam Cain, a step closer to taking home the FedEx Cup as a rookie. What more is there to say? I appreciate everybody coming by the stream. I hope you enjoyed the video if you watched afterwards. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all in the finale for Adam Cain. 4 rounds at East Lake next time. Take care, and I'll see you then.